What issues are important to the building trades?
When we talk about public education and career technical education, that's a building trades issue. When we talk about prevailing wage, that's obviously a building trades issue. When we talk about workplace safety, that's a building trades issue. When we talk about the state of our budget and the state of our economy, that's a building trades issue.
The State Building Trades Council is about building bridges, and not just the kind that span rivers. The council seeks to build bridges in the legislature, with the administration, and through the courts. We also craft bridges to a wide range of organizations and interests that may not seem like obvious allies, but that impact the work of building trades members. For example, the council often works closely with the environmental movement.
I think the Building Trades Council has been one of the leading labor groups on protecting the California Environmental Quality Act. Most recently was AB 32, the landmark global warming bill. Building Trades was part of the coalition that pushed for passage of that.
We know that with the passage of AB 32 and all of the interest around climate change, that there is going to be incredible economic opportunity and new business growth in and around green industry.
The Building Trades Cure program has brought together unions and environmentalists to win project labor agreements at 39 power plants. At the same time that these projects generate thousands of jobs for our members, they are all built to the highest current environmental standards. The Building Trades Council is also building bridges to gain funding for important transportation, school, and infrastructure projects that enhance our state and promote the California economy.
Well, I think the Building Trades Council has done a tremendous job in helping us get the resources necessary to redevelop transportation infrastructure in California. Certainly the role that the Trades Council played in the Proposition 1B campaign was instrumental.
We were the first school district in the state of California to build a school with a project labor agreement, and we've now done over 20 schools. There's many examples of K-12 districts throughout the state that have utilized project labor agreements and have also added an educational component to it.
We currently have 567 major construction projects underway around the state of California, totaling in excess of $10 billion. That's the highest level in the history of the state. But it all really comes down to the workers doing the job. The Building Trades Council has been a tremendous partner in helping us develop that workforce.
By building bridges across the education community, the Building Trades Council actively works to recruit the construction workforce of the future.
The building trades really has been heroic in terms of the emergence of career technical education. They've been very aggressive in really helping us promote quality, relevant career technical education classes. We now have world-class content standards for the first time ever, and so the building trades has really had a significant impact on public education delivery in this state.
I think we raise eyebrows when we walk into an office together that we have management and labor actually coming in on an important issue. But we're working on the Get Real Coalition, and Get Real stands for Relevance in Education and Learning, and it's an attempt to reintroduce or reinvigorate our vocational education, or what we call today career and technical education, into our public school system. Over the last 25 or 30 years, we've seen a dramatic drop-off in the number of students enrolled in career and technical education.
We've joined forces in supporting legislation like career technical education, making sure that those opportunities exist for so many of our young students in high schools who may not be going on to college, but want to find a very strong and productive employment in the careers and trades.
So our goal is to raise the number of students so that the unions can find students for their apprenticeship programs, for their workforce, and that we can also find a skilled labor for our plants and industry.
With its BC3 program, Building California Construction Careers, the Building Trades Council has gone to hundreds of high schools and community organizations to create awareness about the good wages, benefits, and career opportunities in construction.
Learn about construction as a career.
We try to have somebody from the BC3 program come in each year and speak to our students and make them aware of all the options that are out there in the building trades.
There are so many students now who come out of high school who do need to start earning money right away. Even though they'd like to go to college, the reality is they can't afford to do that. So the apprenticeship programs then, and the programs where they can go into hands-on type programs and learn while they earn, are excellent for that.
We've also enjoyed a great partnership in having the building trades participate at our annual education conference the last 4 years. We believe this kind of partnership will help counsel students, help counsel staffs, help counsel teachers about the opportunities that exist in the industry.
In addition to thinking long-term about ensuring that there's enough work for our members, the Building Trades Council has also fought to guarantee that the prevailing wage remains the law of the land, now and in the future.
What I like about representing the state building trades is that they're creative, they're looking at the long term, they're thinking a few years out how they can make good law that's going to help people in the future. When they were fighting about prevailing wages, they weren't just thinking about defensive lawsuits, they were thinking about how they could codify good aspects of the current regulations into statute so they couldn't be changed by a future governor.
The future construction workforce won't look like it did 4, 3, or even 2 decades ago. As building trades workers have come to reflect the diversity of the state of California, the council has changed to meet the needs of today's workers.
I remember back when I started working in construction, I was probably one of the few immigrant workers, and now in some sites I can see all the way up to 90% of construction workers. The challenge is obviously a language barrier, that's a challenge, and also the cultural transition, that is a challenge, but it's nothing that we cannot accomplish if we put the effort into it.
Because although we see that fatality rates are going down overall for workers in the country in general and in the building trades in particular, immigrant workers are one group where we see the fatalities actually on the rise. So it's an extremely important issue, and we have to get out in front, and that is the kind of leadership we are seeing from the State Building and Construction Trades Council here in California.
We have the opportunity to organize all these non-union workers, and it's a good opportunity that unions are already taking a step to it.
The annual Women Building California Conference has given strength, skills, and sustenance to the women in our industry, enabling them to stay on the job and increase their leadership potential.
There were no other women around when I started in the trades as a cement mason. The same when I started as the Secretary-Treasurer for the building trades. I didn't see any other women that were doing that. And so once I started attending the conferences, I started to find out there were yet other women who was actually doing this too.
I have testified and presented at conferences. I think one of my favorites was meeting women in the building trades. There were hundreds of rowdy women in there saying that we are the modern day Rosie the Riveters. There's good careers and good opportunities and good wages and a good future in the building trades.
I'm very glad for the conference, and I hope that it is just the beginning, because it is quite fruitful for all of the women who attend. I haven't heard a woman who went to one yet come back and say they didn't learn something.
The Building Trades Council has developed model programs for tailgate safety training, hearing conservation, and tobacco education to achieve our mission of promoting the health, safety, and well-being of our members, and by extension, their communities.
The State Building and Construction Trades Council has been such a leader in health and safety over many years now. There have been a lot of cutting-edge projects we've done, collaboration between the university and the building trades.
That overlap between public health, a clean environment, good jobs, I think is quite obvious. And I think our opponents often want to create a dichotomy between clean jobs and a good economy and a healthy environment, and there really isn't one.
The building trades having the foresight and really develop an excellent built program with a training program on tobacco education and working on good progressive policies around tobacco control in construction work sites has been a national model.
We were able to work with BUILT to translate a tobacco prevention message and actually figure out the best ways to partner with union leadership and union members. I feel that the work that BUILT began is really going to continue in our county because of that groundwork that BUILT did.
For the building trades, it all comes back to building bridges and creating win-win scenarios for working people and for all of California.
And we have had to sit down with the building trades and really think through how we would then approach the legislature to make sure that we both could win this game.
I'm a Republican who supports getting things built, and I really think that that's a common goal across party lines. These are good jobs. They do pay prevailing wages on these big public projects, and we need to get more of them funded. We need to remove the obstacles, and we need to get the folks in the trades to be able to do the work, and the building trades play a key role in that.
I look at the trades as not only great friends and allies, but as partners in our fight to make sure that everyone has economic opportunity in this state.
We've always been able to work through any difficult times to come to the point where it is about the labor movement. We have done some wonderful things together, and we do it in an unselfish way. And we reach an agreement that makes sure that there are winners in both the private sector and the public sector.
The best way to characterize the building trades, it's a group that you know if they give you their word, it's good. And you know if you're going into a battle, a fight, that if they're alongside with you, they're going to stay there to the end, and they're not going to back down. And that's what you look for the most in California and California politics.
Since 1901, the State Building Trades Council has been the leading advocate for construction workers. Times change, and so do the needs of our members and our state. For that, we continue to build bridges across California and to the future.